Each weeknight at 6 p.m., NEZ Today runs a half-hour live news program. Shortly after that program's completed, staff from NEZ Today will start uploading short segments from the program onto YouTube. That's where our job starts with this class. Every night you'll get an assignment through email telling you exactly which one of those segments you should write content for. And your first step after you get that email is log on to your own YouTube. You can use your own YouTube as NEZ Today by clicking this button here. You can see I'm logged in as myself, but I can access this as NEZ Today. That'll bring you here. From there I go to my channel, and there's a variety of ways to view this content, but I prefer using the video manager. So I click on this. And this will show you in order of most recently published to the oldest, exactly what content is up. So usually in a night you'll get at the most about 12 news segments. And before they're published, before you get access to them and publish them, they'll look like this. This indicates that this content is live or is locked. And this right here indicates that this is a weather program. There's three basic types of content that we generally get on NEZ Today. And those tend to be regular features like weather, pet of the week, or the OT, Overtime Sports Show. There's featured news items, kind of like this story here about Oak Creek cleanup, or this about NAU alum, or here are the senior athletes at NAU. Also this here, Pet of the Week's a regular feature. And then there's also news stories that are generally tend to be this type of thing. We're going to focus on the regular features, starting with weather. And this is the process for writing content for these stories. So I start with clicking into edit mode here. And the first thing I do is just go ahead and play the video content and watch the whole thing. So we'll go ahead and do that.
All right, winter weather taking aim at much to the west, but not the case for us here in Arizona. Love it or hate it, it is what it is. Beautiful weather for us here across the southwest, but a very active pattern here as we take a look at the National Weather Service homepage for the entire western United States. Notice all the colors, winter storm warnings up in Oregon, winter weather advisories up into Washington, pinks and purples all the way through the Intermountain West and into the Rocky Mountains, winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories. And that's going to be active for these regions for the next week or so, with snow in the Sierra Nevada mountains, in the Wasatch Mountains, and the Rockies each and every day for about the next week as we switch it out to the Pacific satellite and show you the Pineapple Express all the way down to Hawaii. Big stream of moisture taking aim here at the western U.S., and it'll continue to do so for days on end. Strong high pressure is in place across the southwest United States, so things are going to remain very mild for us here in Arizona for about the next week or so. It does look like possibly about a week out we start to see possible winter-type storms moving into Arizona. But in the meantime, expect temperatures well above average with some of this cloud cover periodically moving across the sky. So some periodic high clouds bring some partly cloudy skies at times. To keep overnight low temperatures on the mild side. Overnight tonight, 24 degrees. These high clouds very efficient at keeping in the long wave radiation that the Earth gives off and re-radiating it back down and keeping our nights a little more mild than otherwise. In Flagstaff, on average, or definitely on a clear night, we would be down in the teens. But you'll see in the extended forecast, very mild overnights, very mild days as well. 50 degrees for our Saturday in Flagstaff, 7:25 the sunrise out there tomorrow. Mostly sunny skies and statewide temperatures. Great weekend to get outside and enjoy the weather out there. The recent snow we had up at the Snow Bowl, and they're celebrating, big celebration up there with the new chairlift out there tomorrow. All kinds of festivities. Hey, 61 in Sedona, great day to get outside. 60 in Prescott, down in the Phoenix area, 70s. And the extended forecast, really not a lot shaking. Our high temperatures in Flagstaff linger right around 50 degrees all the way into mid-next week. And notice these very mild overnight lows as well. All right, hope you enjoy the weather out there. Have a great weekend. Stick around. for NAZ Today. Coming up.
All right. So I'm going to pause this video right now, but generally that's my process. And what I do when I watch these is I'll just take notes on the most important comments, and then I'll take a couple minutes to write the content. So I will join you after I do that. Alrighty, so anyway, that took me about 5 minutes to write this content. Weather and these regular features can be some of the more troublesome content. This was kind of a boring weather day, but I do like to see all of our weather stuff come out to at least a paragraph or two. So as I'm writing that, as I'm listening to that video or watching that video the first time, generally what I do is I'll keep a notepad handy and write down the most important content. And I'll use that as a guide for how to write this copy. I like to start the paragraph or the bit of the content here with the most significant piece of news. In this case, I kind of judged that was that the Pacific Northwest and High Sierra would see a significant amount of weather, but not Arizona. I also like to say, identify Lee Bourne as the NAZ Today meteorologist. You'll also see other folks doing this, and everybody but Lee is a community forecaster. Anyway, so we do that, and you can see here there's a high pressure system, and then down here I just gave a general overview of conditions in the state. I've done this a million times, so it's easier for me. I tend to find the students that are first doing this tend to struggle filling this content. But this is about my minimum quantum. This is about my standard expectation here. Some days might see a little less. Some days you'll see a lot more, especially if big weather's coming in. Once you've completed this content, I write the headlines last. This is a regular feature. So this is our standard formatting for that, and that's Flagstaff weather and the date. As you can see right here is the date this was published. Other things will be like Pet of the Week, same thing, just give the date. The OT Sports Show, same thing, say the OT-date. And you'll see other features that they might do, like weekend updates or events coming up over the weekend, or different food reviews and stuff like that. They tend to change each month or each semester. But anyway, once I have published this content and become really confident that I don't have any mistakes in here, I go ahead and just change the status from public or from private to public. The minute you do this, you're kind of committed, and this is important especially for our social media posts. You want to always make sure, for some very complicated reasons with Facebook, this link will get written into the metadata and it won't change. So even though you might fix a typo here, when you paste it into Facebook, or it tends to pull up the original metadata, and so if you had a typo in there before you went after you went public, that typo is a little hard to get through. So before you go public, just make sure, especially the headline, is correct. So you can see here we are now public. After this step is done, click Publish, and this content is live for anybody in the world to view. The next step that we'll go over is how to publish this content to the NAZ Today website, but I'll go ahead and take a break before we do that.